Station of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon from TFNN. Welcome to the November 9th. Fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there's having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one and an extraordinary weekend. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Today, you and I, we get to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We get to go figure out what the bulls and the bears, what the buyers and the sellers are communicating to you and I just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, and most importantly, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Dial on in, 877-927-6648. If you can't dial in, we've got you covered. Let those fingers do the walking. You can always send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. And in the Tiger's Den, as Mr. Z did just a few moments ago, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fantastic Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, the Dow off 238 points, 25,952 is the print. S&P's down 31 points, a little over 1%. NASDAQ off nearly 2%. That'd be 136 points to the downside. So you've got mean and red across the board index-wise, although the spot volatility index is up 5.7%. She's trading at 1768. That's up nearly $1. We're going to take a look at that. Gold is off $15. Silver down 27 cents. Leading the charge, the upside. Mettler Toledo International up $19. Ubiquity Networks up 13. That's almost 15%. Boston Beer, Sam Adams up $11, 3.5%. The Jazzy one, that's up nearly 4% or almost $6. To the downside, Amazon off $41. Cavco Industries down $40. That's 18%, 19%. Booking Holdings off 37. Google is down 23, a little over 2%. So plenty to look at to the upside and the downside. But first, what we've got to do is go to our questions. And the first question came in earlier this morning. It came from Michael P. And what Michael P. wants to take a look at is Tata Motors. TTM is the ticker symbol. As he pointed out, this thing has been ticking higher over the last many trading sessions. And what Michael wants is just simply Stevie's read on it. Now, when we take a look at the daily time frame chart out here, you're going to see that Tata Motors, let me pull this back here. Wow, how did I do that with regard to moving the volume to the top? Well, that's a bummer. I don't even know how I did that. But the volume is up at the top. I'll figure out how to change that. Actually, I know how to change that. I can do almost anything out here. Let me pull this where it should belong. There we go, back at the bottom. So you can see that Tata Motors has been in a huge downtrend. Now, Tata Motors is the is a auto company out of India, right? So, something to think about. Now, first, to answer your question specifically, here's what you're looking for from a daily perspective, Michael, and that is her price to close above the top of its daily profile, and that is a level of 1325. You're going to see gaps all over the place. You have to ignore these gaps. These are the type of gaps that are not your friend. They're nobody's friend. They're just irrelevant. The reason that they're irrelevant, is that a word out there? It's a word Stevie's using. The reason is because of the foreign currency exchange issue that you're dealing with the rupee out there. Now, there is an important question, too. In other words, if you're going to be trading Tata Motors, is it just a slight possibility that what you're really doing is trading the rupee? Should you know what the rupee is doing? We know what the U.S. dollar is doing. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar versus the rupee, we do that by just simply coming over to this page, by taking a look at a monthly time frame chart and take a look at how this thing has been weakening since 1970. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. We take a look at the India rupee. So sort of what this chart here is suggesting, Michael, that if you're going to go ahead and invest in Tata Motors, you better really know what the heck is going on with the rupee. And at this stage here, you better hope that what the rupee is doing is strengthening. Has it during the last several days or weeks or something like that, just as Tata Motors has? Here's your answer. Your answer is yes. Now, look, we don't have to stop there. Why? Because we've got more. What do you mean we've got more? Well, we've got more by being able to go correlate. Take a look at the correlation. This is a daily time frame between Tata Motors and the rupee. Now, what you're going to see is the bars at the bottom. Take a look at this. Now, this is for a longer-term perspective. My assumption is you're trading Tata Motors, trying to catch a bottom or what you believe is a bottom here. And if that is the case, then you should be praying that, and you should be trading, and you should really technically understand the rupee. I don't. I just know that what I want to do is provide you with the best information possible. At this stage here, we already know that interest rates are going to continue to rise. The U.S. dollar against currencies across the globe is going to continue to rise. Let me state it more clearly. The U.S. dollar is going to get stronger. I'm talking the bigger picture here. I hope I'm talking the bigger picture here. And we can see the direct correlation that exists. Now, this shows as an indirect correlation because I can't really flip the rupee around here at this stage of the game, but you really get the picture here. If the rupee is going to get weaker, it's going to impact Tata Motors. And so Tata Motors may just simply move sideways or something, but it's not going to get the type of traction that you want. Not unless you are managing the currency and you say, hey, wait a minute here. The rupee is done weakening. But what we can do is we can go take a look at what the rupee has been doing out here from a long-term perspective. And, oh, my goodness. So, Mike, I don't like Tata Motors because there's too much work that you've got to do in order to determine whether that was a good bottom or not in Tata Motors. I hope that helps you out. The next question that came in, this came in from a Sylvia. And Sylvia wants to take a look at Valero. So if we take a look at Valero out here, VLO is the ticker symbol. What is it that Sylvia is asking? You like to consider trading Valero? The falling knife looks like it's slowing to a swing point. Would now be a good time to go long. So here's the swing point that Sylvia is taking a look at, I believe, on a daily time frame out here. That's a trading session from October 26th. Volume there of 6.9 million shares. Today you've done 2 million shares, so it's coming into with lighter volume. So, Sylvia, the only way to really answer that question would be to see where this closes at the end of the day, because if it closes, excuse me, even with light volume, under 87.23, it may go test the low out here. But then we've got to ask ourselves this question. Valero's been going down since October 3rd. When did light sweet crude form its high? I believe it was October 3rd. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back, and we'll finish this one up as well.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The TAS Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of TAS Market Profile, the TAS Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching TigerTV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at ticker symbol VLO, Valero Energy Corp, for Sylvia. And Sylvia has pointed out, and technically correct, at least at this stage of the game, which is that Valero, we take a look at a daily time frame, is testing a prior swing point. Again, that was a swing point from October 26 on much lighter volume. That at about 7 million. You're at about 2 million today, maybe 4. And if it closes above 87.23, you'd have a rejection. Now, Sylvia, here's what we can also say. We know that resistance is 93.75. How do we know? We can see that price has been trading inside the TAS market profile. I just heard a new commercial just a minute or two ago. Out there in these profiles and the TAS boxes and the scanner, they're just simply beautiful, great, wonderful tools out there. So something good to have in your arsenal. What we can see here is that price tested and rejected the top of that box. So it's within a trading range of 93.75 to 84.86 at the bottom. So if you're just looking to trade it, then maybe. But I had posed the question, which I already knew the answer to. You know, never ask a question that you don't know the answer to, or if you do, you're liable to get the answer that you don't want to hear. But you kind of know what I mean out there. And what we do know is there is a direct correlation. I'm not going to go to my correlation between light sweet crude and Valero. So you also have to ask yourself the question, or I think you want to pose the question to yourself, is light sweet crude, has it made a bottom? Is it done moving lower out there? If we take a look at Valero on a weekly time frame doesn't look good, no matter how we slice it. If we can slice it as thin as we want or as thick as we want for some big French toast, but out here, this thing does look like it's toast, meaning that it wants to actually move lower out here. It's below some support areas. If we take a look at Stevie's Ninja Trader chart out there, it's below the weekly profiles out here. 2 weeks ago when it was moving lower, granted it was with 29 million shares. This week it's only 17 million shares. I don't see anything good on a weekly basis inside of Valero. Hey, on a daily basis, I don't even see a sign of strength. You'd like to see a sign of strength coming off the bottom, and that's back to the daily time frame chart, and it's got nada, zilch, zippo. It was just really a counter trend move that we saw inside of Valero as it got up to 93.75. Now, granted, price on a monthly standpoint, and usually, and that's the very right-hand panel of our screen out here, is testing support. 86.97. Yes, it tested and rejected it last month, the month of October, but it's really at a critical level. So if you want to fire away, then yes, now is the time. But don't let it close below 86.97. But now we've got to go back and take a look at what is light sweet crude doing. You already know Stevie's thesis on light sweet crude. It's not that complicated. We won't go into it again. I don't want to get too political out here, but it is political. But if we take a look at light sweet crude, and here is Stevie's synthetic version of the contract. Is it? Oh, it's not. How did that happen? I thought that I punched that up there. Oh, I did. It's over here. Here we go. Here, I knew I did. And the reason why I want to use the synthetic version of this contract, it does a better job of stitching together all of the futures contracts versus using the continuous contract. In any event, here is what this chart is telling you and I. Light sweet crude wants to continue moving lower. The next level of support, this is a monthly time frame, is around 57.61. I think that trying to trade light sweet crude right now from a technical standpoint is a bad idea. Granted, I just gave you some technical aspects out here. But if my thesis is correct and has more to do with regard to the Khashoggi incident out here, I don't know where this is going to stop. There's just a deal that is in place. How do I know? I don't know. It's too logical. It's too easy to figure that out. It's too easy to see the quid pro quo, so to speak, out here. And we know the current administration would love nothing more than cheaper oil. Hey, as a consumer, you want nothing more than cheaper oil. So is Valero a good buy right now? I don't know, Sylvia. Kind of like with Tata Motors. Is the hair on the back of Stevie's neck is kind of standing up. And I just think there's better places to look. So I hope that helps you out. Now, the other question that came in, or another question that came in, was from the Tiger's Den. And Mr. Z was asking, can we get to 1160 in Goldilocks out there? And the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. But if we take a look at light sweet crude here, we take a look at how light sweet crude is trading in all of the, I'm sorry, light sweet crude. I just have light sweet crude on the brain. We'll get rid of it. What we're really taking a look at is Goldilocks. So we're taking a look at gold priced in all the major currencies. The yen, the pound, which is on the very right-hand side, the euro, and then the dollar, which is on the very left-hand side. It's typed up there on my screen so you know which chart is which out here. Now, if gold is able to, this week, close below 1211.50 and we're 1209.50, then what that would suggest to me is that price would head down to the bottom of its weekly profile. And that is 1189. I know that doesn't answer your question, 1160. I'd say we would just simply, in 1160, by the way, gets us back into that swing point from August 16, 2018. We'd really try to take a look at what's going on volume-wise or anything else out there with regard to gold. I still believe that gold, and moving back there to that level, if gold does that, what is it Stevie's trying to say? Not trying to say anything. Just got to take this one step at a time out here with regard to gold. And right now, I think the critical level to be paying attention to is going to be 1211.50. And the other thing is paying attention to what is gold doing in the other currencies out there. As long as we're talking other currencies and we're talking about gold, let's just switch over and take a look at Treasury bonds. So Treasury bonds out here are moving higher. What Treasury bonds have done for the last two out of the last 3 days, not yesterday, have moved up to the center of its weekly profile. That's 138 even Steven out here. Now, we've seen slight punches through that level, but it's always close, or when I say always close, the last 3 days here, it has not been able to close over that level. We do see that bonds inside, unlike gold, but inside the other currencies, moving higher out here. So there's nothing negative. It's not. So everybody seems to be a buyer. When I say everybody, I'm just talking about that local currency out here. We're not seeing selling in one currency, buying in another currency out here. And I would say that if, in fact, we could see T-bonds Close above 138. Geez, then you're looking at 138 and 15, 30 seconds, 138 and 30, looking at 139.20, maybe even 140 out there. It is possible. It is possible. Yeah. It is possible. Anyways, that's what's going on there. Let me check to see if anybody else sent in any questions. If not, we'll just go take a look at the general markets out here. Don't have, is natural gas target 390? So no name on this, but if we take a look at the natural gas, give me a moment out here. Let's see what natural gas is doing today. Natural gas is up 20 cents. That's up nearly 6%. So what natural gas is doing, it's made the one-to-one price target of 375. It's done it with a wide-ranging bar. And yeah, I'd have to say 390 is the next stop. Doesn't mean that it'll stop there, but that's its next price target. The 1 to 1.272 A to B equals CD. We'll be right back. I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go out to Philadelphia and speak with John. John, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Steve, I'm just fine. Thanks for taking the call. Steve, I want to just make it a brief call.
Yes.
First, thank you for just addressing the gold question that I posed on the Tiger's Den. And I just wanted to share two observations with you
Sure.
Perhaps your audience will be interested in it. I know you and I both are. So here it is. Gold topped up at that 1365 level back in April.
Yes.
Gold came down into a May low, and that was like 6-7 weeks down. And then there was a 3-week bounce. Then from a June high into August, it was 10 weeks straight down. And
Yes.
since it's, feels kind of like a sideways action, what I'll share
Sure.
with you is that the DeMark sequential system count, as applied to the weekly chart, as of today, assuming we close somewhere near right where well, you know what? I'm sorry, Steve-O. COMEX closing prices are registered at 1:30 p.m. on Fridays. So we've got the closing price.
Yeah.
So the sequential count is 9/11 down, meaning 2 more weekly closes in this pattern will give us a sequential buy. That puts us right into Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And then right after Thanksgiving, Steve, the options on COMEX futures undergo their last trading day, and that is Tuesday, the 27th of November. And you and I have both observed often during that period of time, the gold price, the COMEX price, is flat to lower. So, and as I shared with you further, I guess point 3, we've had 6 consecutive years in which the October into end of November time period has been down. So I just share with you, I'm hopeful we decline further for another 2 or 3 weeks and set up a terrific low-risk buy setup. So just to share that with you.
Yeah, so in the last 2 years, since we're talking in the last couple of years, where we've seen bottoms come in December, mid-December. So in 2016, the bottom took place December 15th. In 2017, it was December 12th. What would you be targeting? Because I know you're talking Thanksgiving, but in the prior couple of years, it's been mid-December before that bottom has shown up. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't have an answer for you. For me, that's getting too precise. Frankly, what I'm just thinking about in advance is if the decline that's occurred here the past couple of weeks from the 1240, 1245 area, gotten down to 1208 now, if this just extends lower and runs into, I'll give you a broad range, that 1160 to 1125 area, and that's merely last August low.
Sure.
And 1120 is the low back from December of 16. I'm just thinking if gold declines in an orderly fashion into that price area, into that post-Thanksgiving time window, I'll just be very eager to trade the long side quite aggressively.
Sure. Okay. Hey, thanks, John. I appreciate the call, and thanks for sharing that great information with our audience out there.
My pleasure. Be in touch.
You bet. That was John in Philly. No other questions that have come in, at least by email, not just yet. So let's go take a look at the general markets and what it is that we want to be paying attention to come the end of today's trading session. And I think the best place to start is, or one of the places to start, let's first take a look at our daily TAS market profiles on the equity futures contracts and see what it is that we see. The first thing that we see right now, and we're taking a look at the very left-hand panel of our screen, is the ES Mini. And the ES Mini, which broke above the top of its box, that's a bullish event. It did so on election or day after election on November the 7th out here. But what price was unable to do was to take out its high from October 17th. Now today what it's done, it's pulled back and it's tested, and so far it's trading underneath the top of that box. Typically, when you break above a level of resistance, which by the way it had not been tested, not until only once had it been tested, so it really didn't act as resistance, but we're still going to call it resistance out here. And typically old resistance will become new support. So what you want to be paying attention to today, in my opinion, coming into the end of the session, is does the ES mini close back above 27.80.75? Was this nothing more than a test of support when we take a look at it? Now I'm going to switch over. We could come back and take a look at the NQ and the Dow and the Russell 2000 as well. I'm going to switch over from them and move over into the volatility index. And the reason is because the volatility index, let's take a look at the S&P 500. So we're taking a look at the S&P 500 equity futures contracts here. These profiles are very helpful to you and I. The other thing is if, in fact, the ES mini closes underneath that level of support, 27.80.75, and, this is an and, we see the spot volatility index close above its 50-day exponential moving average, which, by the way, let's go ahead and put this in the S&P, by the way, as well as at the bottom, is the spot volatility index. You're going to see a yellow line. That yellow line is currently priced at 17.58. It'll change by a penny or two, over the coming hours. But you can use this as a decent benchmark. Right now, you have the spot volatility index trading up at 17.89. If the VIX closes over that 50-day exponential moving average, odds favor that you're going to see further decline come Sunday evening and Monday morning. Now, with price trading below the top of that daily profile, now, the caveat would be, let's say things really fall apart between now and the end of the cash close for the spot volatility index, but it happens to rise by more than 10%, then what you should be anticipating is some type of counter trend rally, bottom bounce, something along those lines, because when you have those one-day rates of change greater than 10%, that is what we typically see in the market. So the most bearish case is that the ES mini closes below support, the top of that box. That's one thing. Number two, and these are all in combination, so this is the group here, and the spot volatility index closes above its 50-day, 17.59, and where the spot volatility index closes is less than a 10% one-day rate of change. As we speak right now, the rate of change is 7.12%. So that's what you should be looking for. I don't think it gets any more, it's not more complicated than that. If those things don't happen, if price holds above the level of support we looked at in the ES, if the spot volatility index closes below the 50-day, then what today has been thus far has been nothing more than a test of support. It doesn't really give us any guideline as to what Sunday/Monday will do, but it does tell us that what today would have been was nothing more than a test of support. That's what I would be focused on. Just those two things, just to simplify it. Now, if we go, so the question would be, where would the ES mini pull back to? That's a good question. So where is the next target inside of the ES mini? And that was a really cool way of making sure that you come back after this commercial out here, because we're going to answer that. And I'll even give you the number for the S&P 500. We'll be right back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-32 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. Jason Path has just launched his weekly newsletter, The Quantitative Edge, available only at TFNN.com. Right now, you can sign up for Jason's outstanding weekly report, including midweek updates whenever warranted, with a 30-day money-back guarantee included, so you have nothing to risk. Jason develops his trade recommendations by creating an ensemble of predictive and mathematical models trained on data by leveraging a variety of techniques, including market-based computer simulations. Jason then combines these sophisticated predictive and analytical models with deeply researched macro outlooks to identify opportunities in a number of different markets for traders to act on. Whether you're looking to trade futures, equities, commodities like crude oil and gold, forex, or cryptos, Jason covers it all. Sign up for Jason Path's weekly trading newsletter right now by visiting the front page of TFNN.com, and you'll find the Quantitative Edge under the Newsletters tab. TFNN.com, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We've got a winner. We have a winner in the Tiger's Den, and that is Dudette. That is Maria, because Maria, she said, "Hey, Steve-O, I think I have the answer as to where the ES Mini would pull back based upon those conditions that we talked about earlier, closing below support, the top of its market profile, and the spot volatility index closing above its 50-day exponential moving average." And she gave two figures. We'll just go with the last one, which was 27.35. If we take a look at the ES Mini, this is the chart we're going to put up on our screen right now. What you're going to see is that 27.35, in essence, is 27.34.41, but we're not going to get too technical about that. In fact, we are not. But I just want to give you the number that is Stevie's red line. Now, that's really a critical area. Why is that such a critical area? The reason why that is critical is because if price were to close below that level, then we're in that condition. You see, the line is red versus green. The difference out here have nothing to do with Christmas. What it's telling you and I, that the price oscillator, the difference between two exponential moving averages, in this case here, 19 and 39, for price, is below its zero threshold level. Now, being below the zero threshold level and price being above Stevie's red line, that's fine. That tells us of a bottom that has occurred out here, and that the pullback is also normal. But if price closes below that level, and by the way, when it gets down there, what Maria and I know is that this number is going to change too. It's going to not be exactly 27.34, but that's the number we have. The 27.34, 35-ish area is what we have to go with today. That's likely where price would be pulling back to. That's what I would be targeting out here as the pullback inside of the ES Mini. Now, inside of the S&P, we're going to do this. I'm going to give it to you for the S&P. I'll give it the exact number for the SPY out there. And we're just focused here on the S&P. We'll take a look at the Dow, by the way. But if we take a look at the S&P, that number is 2732. So you can see Stevie's red line there. Now, with regard to the SPY, we'd just say it's 27 We'd say it's 273. It's actually 272, but I want to just simply go ahead and post this chart up here. That way you've got it all. And here we take a look at Stevie's red line. Now, 274 happens to be the center line on a daily basis of its TAS market profile. And 272.86 happens to be Stevie's red line out there. These are the critical areas that the S&P, SPY, ES-Mini need to close above on any kind of a pullback. Maybe I didn't make myself clear, but closing below Stevie's red line says we have a falling price oscillator below zero. And that is a bearish, from a directional speaking, outcome. We're not there yet. You've got to take this one step at a time. I think you'd take it one step at a time. I'd be taking it one step at a time. What's that next step out here? Well, the interesting thing on a Friday is that if we take a look at volume inside of the SPY, the volume on the way up, or the volume, I should say, from Wednesday, was 102 million shares as price was moving higher. We're at 44 million shares right now. Now, that means we can take 44 million, divide it by 4, multiply times 6.5, and come up with what the estimated volume will be at the end of the day. It won't be exactly dead on balls accurate, but my way of thinking says 44 divided by 4 gives me 11 times 6.5 gives me about 70 million. My math, I'm sure, is off. 69, 70, somewhere right around there. What it's saying, though, is that the SPY here is pulling back on light volume. Now, the SPY, one of the other targets here for the SPY, and this is probably where Dudette came up with their 275 or 2755 level. You'll have to tell me if I'm right on this. I'm just trying to go with, hey, how did Maria come up with that? I think Maria's pretty much taken a look at the gap here inside of the S&P or inside of the SPY out here, which is a 275.30. So maybe price is just simply coming there, and that is the reason to be taking a look at that 275 level as well. So that's what you should anticipate based upon what you and I had taken a look at inside of the equity futures contract, as well as what's going on inside of the spot volatility index. Now, we didn't talk about the other contracts out here. We didn't talk about the NQ. We didn't talk about the Dow. We didn't talk about the Russell 2000, which, by the way, the Russell 2000 has formed a new daily profile. It did that earlier this morning. Prices trading within inside that profile. So the level to be looking at, the likely place for the Russell 2000 to pull back to, is going to be the 1512 bottom of its weekly to 1525, the bottom of its daily profile. We're at 1540 as we speak right now. So that's the message there of the Russell 2000. In the case of the Dow Equity Futures contract, this is kind of interesting because it did break above both the swing point out here. The Dow's been the stronger of the indices. If I go ahead and use October 17th as one of our measuring sticks out here, because it's the only of the 4 equity futures contract that blew through that, giving it one heck of a nice V bottom, which does suggest that the Dow wants to get all the way back to its all-time highs. Now, what price was also able to do was get up to the bottom of its profile. That's the green horizontal line going across my chart. I don't have the center and the top of the box because it was the bottom that I was most interested in. And it just closed slightly above it on the 8th, just slightly above it yesterday. It's rejected that level. So price right now is coming back to 25,845. It's going to be interesting to watch where the Dow actually closes. And I don't know where these things are going to close today. Just know what you should be looking for when we come into the close to help guide you as to what the likely next move is come Sunday night, come Monday morning, for those of you that might be trading the futures, or just simply what to anticipate with regard to your holdings overall. Again, I'd mentioned that the Dow has been the strongest of the 4 equity futures contract. Here, just for our sake, I'm just going to look at the cash indice. And here we can see that price has tried to this week close above Stevie's green line. So here it's green. We know on a weekly basis what the Dow has is a price oscillator above zero, which is bullish. When price is below that, says, okay, you've got some type of counter trend move to the downside. Well, we know that that's what's in place out here. But when we take a look at the so the level to be watching is 25,965. 25,965 and some change out there. Why? Well, if the Dow can close above 25,965, the message will be clear from a weekly standpoint. And that message is that this move here was more than a counter-trend rally. You see, a counter-trend rally is just simply going to take you up into resistance. Right now, Stevie's green line is resistance. But if the Dow, the cash indice, closes over Stevie's green line, now we're back to a rising price oscillator above zero. Remember, we took a look at the daily time frame chart for the ES, the SPY, the S&P. We said we don't want to see price closing below that red line because that would have given us, or that would give us, a falling price oscillator below zero. And I said, directionally speaking, that's a bearish outcome. Well, the exact opposite is true, because we would have a bullish outcome if the Dow on a weekly basis can close above its green line. I don't know what's going to come next. I just know what you should be looking for come the end of the day. Now, if we take a look at the other indices out here, they're nowhere near. For example, we spent a lot of time on the S&P 500, but you're going to see it's nowhere near its green line level of 2831. So watch the Dows close. Watch the ES Mini close. Watch the spot volatility index. That's how you'll be able to get the message of the markets. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
This is David White. Stay tuned because coming up next is the Power Trading Hour right here on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. So 2 questions to round out the last 2 minutes out here. Eddie writes in and he says, what do you think of the volume in the QQQ ETF? Currently, that is at 28.7. If we do that same, divide by 4, multiply times 6.5, we probably get somewhere around the 48, 49 million level out there. Now, when this thing moved higher and made its most recent high, which was on November 7th on Wednesday, it did so with 51 million shares. So although it's pulling back with lighter volume, or so it appears to be, we really won't know till the end of the day. It's very easy to see the lighter volume inside of the SPY versus what we're taking a look at in the Q. In the Q, since we were making such a big deal about Stevie's red line, I think, Eddie, what's more important than the volume today, well, one could certainly be the swing point at 169.86. That's the top of the October 29th level out there. What also is floating around that 169 level, and this is probably, and I'm glad you asked the question, is that we've got Stevie's red line. That's at 169.52 as we speak right now. So closing underneath that would be very bad, directionally speaking, for the Qs out there. So I think more so than the volume, that's what I would be watching, Eddie, if I were you, around the 169.50-ish area, Stevie's red line. John had a question, too. We'll finish out with this, and he was asking about Ubiquity Networks, and just was simply asking, what is it that I see? I see a wide-ranging bar with accelerated volume moving to the upside. That's what I see. Yeah, you've got volume of 1.4 million shares out here. This candle, the day's candle, by the way, which has taken out the prior swing point, which was from September 25th, only at 272 million shares, looks a lot like this candle here from May 10th. Maybe that was another earnings day. I don't really know. I don't know if today was an earnings day. But this thing is a little rocket ship, and it took off. That doesn't mean last time when it did that here, John, it moved sideways for a while, a couple of weeks, several weeks, before it went ahead and continued to take off. Will it do the same this time? I don't know the answer to the question. The issue is here, and if it does and it pulls back and you're looking to buy it, the price I'd give you is 101.33. So, folks, thanks so much for joining us. Hope you had a great week. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll look forward to seeing you on magical, magnificent Monday. Be safe out there. We'll see you soon.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.